Welcome back, Questers, to our routine of opening the scriptures. Let's continue exploring the story of the Bible with Genesis chapter 19. Oh, hey. Tippity top of the morning to you, Questers. I'm glad you're joining us for our 19th day of our Bible reading routine of opening the scriptures. That's what we do as Questers, because if we're going to be disciples, we need to fill our minds with the Bible. And if we're going to bear sweet fruits, then we need to sink down deep roots. As you parents already know, the Bible is not a PG-rated book. It deals seriously with the reality of sin and evil and wickedness, and the chapter we're going to be reading today does as well. We just wanted to give you a heads up in case you've got little listeners with sensitive ears. It's going to raise some big questions, I can guarantee. Genesis chapter 19. The two angels arrived at Sodom in the evening, and Lot was sitting in the gateway of the city. When he saw them, he got up to meet them and bowed down with his face to the ground. "My lords," he said, "please turn aside to your servant's house. You can wash your feet and spend the night and go your way early in the morning." "No," they said, "we will spend the night in the square." But he insisted so strongly that they did go with him, and he entered his house. He prepared a meal for them, baking bread without yeast, and they ate. Before they had gone to bed, all the men from every part of the city, the young and the old, surrounded the house. They called to Lot, "Where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us so that we can have sex with them." Lot went outside to meet them and shut the door behind him and said, "No, my friends, don't do this wicked thing. Look, I have 2 daughters who have never slept with a man. Let me bring them out to you, and you can do with them what you like. But don't do anything to these men, for they have come under the protection of my roof." "Get out of our way," they replied. "This fellow came to live here as a foreigner, and now he wants to play the judge. We'll treat you worse than them." They kept bringing pressure on Lot and moved forward to break down the door. But the men inside reached out and pulled Lot back into the house and shut the door. Then they struck the men who were at the door of the house with blindness, young and old, so that they could not find the door. The 2 men said to Lot, "Do you have anyone else here, sons-in-law, sons or daughters, or anyone else in the city who belongs to you? Get them out of here, because we are going to destroy this place. The outcry to the Lord against its people is so great that he has sent us to destroy it." So Lot went out and spoke to his sons-in-law, who were pledged to marry his daughters. He said, "Hurry and get out of this place, because the Lord is about to destroy the city." But his sons-in-law thought that he was joking. With the coming of dawn, the angels urged Lot, saying, "Hurry, take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here, or you will be swept away with the city when it is punished." When he hesitated, the men grasped his hand and the hands of his wife and his 2 daughters and led them safely out of the city, for the Lord was merciful to them. As soon as they had brought them out, one of them said, "Flee for your lives. Do not look back. Don't stop anywhere in the plain. Flee to the mountains, or you will be swept away." But Lot said to them, "No, my lords, please. Your servant has found favor in your eyes, and you have shown great kindness to me in sparing my life, but I can't flee to the mountains. This disaster will overtake me, and I'll die. Look, here is a town near enough to run to, and it is small. Let me flee to it. It is very small, isn't it? Then my life will be spared." He said to them, "Very well, I will grant this request too. I will not overthrow the town you speak of, but flee there quickly, because I cannot do anything until you reach it." That is why the town was called Zoar. By the time Lot reached Zoar, the sun had risen over the land. The Lord rained down burning sulfur on Sodom and Gomorrah from the Lord out of the heavens. Thus, he overthrew those cities and the entire plain, destroying all those living in the cities and also the vegetation of the land. But Lot's wife looked back, and she became a pillar of salt. Early the next morning, Abraham got up and returned to the place where he had stood before the Lord. He looked down toward Sodom and Gomorrah, toward all the land of the plain, and he saw the dense smoke rising from the land like smoke from a furnace. So when God destroyed the cities of the plain, he remembered Abraham, and he brought Lot out of the catastrophe that overthrew the cities where Lot had lived. Lot and his 2 daughters left Zoar, and they settled in the mountains, for he was afraid to stay in Zoar. And he and his 2 daughters lived in the cave. One day, the older daughter said to the younger, "Our father is old, and there is no man around here to give us children, as is the custom all over the earth. Let us get our father to drink wine, then sleep with him, and preserve our family line through our father." That night, they got their father to drink wine, and the older daughter went in and slept with him. He was not aware of it when she lay down or when she got up. The next day, the older daughter said to the younger, "Last night I slept with my father. Let's get him to drink wine again tonight, and you can go sleep with him to preserve our family line through our father." So they got their father to drink wine that night also, and the younger daughter went in and slept with him. Again, he was not aware when she lay down or when she got up. So both of Lot's daughters became pregnant by their father. The older daughter bore a son and named him Moab. He is the father of the Moabites to this day. The younger daughter also had a son, and she named him Ben-Ami. He is the father of the Ammonites to this day. The grass withers and its flower falls away, but the word of the Lord endures forever. Genesis 19. What a gruesome and gory and strange chapter. Honestly, there were things in that chapter that made me a little uncomfortable. Maybe you too. But we want to understand God's word, and it's okay to have questions when we read strange chapters like that. My first question is this. When Abraham was bargaining with God about how many righteous people were in the city, God said, "I won't destroy the city even if there's 10 righteous people in the city." And as I counted, only 4 people left the city: Lot, his wife, and his 2 daughters. But none of them seemed to be righteous at all. Lot goes and gets drunk. What's up with that? Lot's wife turns around and looks back to the city and is turned into a pillar of salt. And Lot's 2 daughters make a plan to get their father drunk and get pregnant by him? What is going on in this chapter? Lots of questions about that. My other question is, why did Jesus tell his disciples in Luke chapter 17, remember Lot's wife? This is a chapter that Jesus points to and tells his disciples, remember that story about the coming judgment. What did he mean by that? What are your questions about this strange and bizarre chapter, Questers? Leave them in the comments below or write us a letter. You know where it can go. To our P.O. Box, which you can find the address to on our website, questercommunity.com. Well, with all of the sin, evil, and unfaithfulness in this chapter, I want to give a shout out to somebody who I know is faithful and loving. That's my Grammy, Viola Brosser. She's a Quester investor who's invested not just in the Quester community, but invested in me since I was little. Thank you so much, Grammy, for being a gospel giver who helps make this Quester community video resource possible. I sure love you. Hope to see the rest of you tomorrow in Genesis chapter 20. As we continue to explore God's wonderful word together. We are on a quest to find the answers